speak at, I think it was last September, but I was traveling in Europe, so I wasn't able to make it. So she really held this positive vision for me to be able to speak here in front of all of you, and it's no coincidence, yet another synchronicity, that I'm actually speaking to you this week about everyday sacredness, which is the theme for this month, which is incredible because I believe that absolutely every day is sacred, and not only that, it's like absolutely every single moment is sacred. Every breath that we take, every move that we make, and I'm not going to sing the Police song, but I'm just going to say that it really is, everything is absolutely sacred, and I hope that when I'm done speaking with all of you today, that you will really understand that we are all on these incredible personal journeys, yet sharing the earth with all these other souls, then we are combining together to create an incredible experience here. So with that said, what I would like to do is to tell you a little bit about every day before I get up in the morning, what I do, and then I want to help show that how you guys can do that as well really easily and quickly. I connect with the light of my heart. And everything that I talk about, everything that you'll hear me speak about today is all about love and truth and light and honor and goodness and peace and joy. And those things are absolutely all contained within the light. I call myself a teacher of light because I want to spread as much light in the world as possible, and I want to focus only on the positive and give absolutely no time to the negative. And I want to show everyone that will listen, that when we connect with this light of our heart, we spread this out in the world, and then so many others connect with our lights, and people want to do the same. So before I wake up in the morning, before I get out of bed, I intentionally move my attention into my heart, and I center myself, I ground myself into my heart, and then I send my light into the earth and bring up that beautiful energy and connect with the heavens, and when I'm connected, I send my light out to everyone. Every single being, creature in the world. And I ask, who should I connect with today? What message can I deliver? What can someone bring to me that will inspire me to be a better person as I'm walking upon this earth? And so I want to just take just a second or two so that we can all connect hearts. And again, this is all a personal journey that we're on. So this is all your own decision. If you choose not to connect your heart with mine or the hearts of everyone here or out in the world, that is your position, and I absolutely honor that. So you can just say that you're placing that intention to keep your energy within your own space. If you do choose to connect your heart with mine, I'm honored that you would want to do that as well. So if we can just take a moment and we just put our feet on the ground. And how I help people get into their hearts the quickest is I just ask people, tap on your forehead 3 times, because most of the times throughout the day, we're all up in our heads talking and thinking and all this stuff. So you're moving your consciousness into your heart space. So just tap on your head 3 times. And then now roll your consciousness down into your heart and place your hand over your heart. And here, if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. No one's going to look at you. And we can take this attention, now that we're in our heart, and feel that light that's contained within us, and send our light down through our feet into the earth, where it's warm and safe and pure. And mix your energy with the energy of the earth. And now send that energy from the earth and your heart light energy and bring it back up through your feet and feel it connect back with your heart. And now send that energy when you're in your heart and you can feel it beating and you can feel your light, send it up through the top of your head, all the way up to the heavens. And when you get there, this is happening, so just you can imagine it, whether you see it or imagine it. Connect with your angels. We all have our own angels. connect with our higher power, the creator of all that is, God, and connect with any loved ones that may have transitioned to the light before you that you want to join you on this day. And ask that all their loving energy come back with you. And now send all your energy back from the heavens. And when you feel yourself lock into your heart, wiggle your toes and then you can open your eyes. Now, I'd like to take it just one step further and ask that you are now this pillar of light. You're grounded to the earth and you're connected to the heavens, and imagine that you're being pulled and everything is balanced right here in your heart. And now I'm going to send my light out and connect with every heart here who chooses to connect with mine. And I ask that you all connect with me. And it's just an intention. You can just imagine yourself connecting with my heart. And then now let's just take it one step further and close your eyes again for 1 second and send your light out from the center of your heart across the earth in a second, and connect your light across the earth with absolutely every creature, every person, every being. It is done. Okay. And we can also make that even quicker. When we're doing that in the morning, you can make it in a second. You can say, I'm grounded to the earth, I'm connected to the heavens, I'm centered in my heart, send out the light. And you just spread it across the earth. So to start today, I thought I would tell you a little story about, I have the global radio show called Violet Wisdom, and it focuses only on inspiration and positivity and spreading goodness in the world. And so a lot of times, too, I want to get on other people's radio stations so that I can blend my energy with theirs as well. And I was asked to be on a radio station in Canada. And usually when you're asked to be on a show and you're an author or you're a speaker, they, say, send us some copy points, tell us what you want us to ask you. And this particular radio show just said, just show up. Just show up on the line 10 minutes before. We'll connect our energy with yours, get to know you just a little bit better, but then we're just going to start. And so I had to actually trust these people that they knew what they were doing, and I had to release any kind of apprehension or fear and just go with it. So I showed up on the line. And they started the interview with 2 questions. Now, I've asked myself these 2 questions because everyday journeys are sacred, and it's part of finding out why you're here and what you're doing here at this time. So when I got on the line with them, they started out the interview and they said, "Who on earth are you, and what on earth are you doing here?" And it surprised even me what came out of me, because what happened was, those are called deep ocean questions, I call them. They're not shallow. You don't scratch the surface with questions like that. You dive deep into the ocean and you feel and see and hear all the beauty that's going on beneath the depths of the surface of the water. So when they asked me those 2 questions, who on earth are you and what are you doing here, I was like, wow, okay. And what flowed out of me was this. My name is Molly Evelyn Friedenfeld. Molly is the pet name in Hebrew for Mary. Mary means beloved. My middle name is Evelyn. Evelyn contains the name Eve, which contains the energetic essence of the first woman who walked upon this earth. My middle name is Evelyn. My last name is Friedenfeld. Friedenfeld. Frieden means peace. Feld means land. So altogether, I am a beloved woman of first woman energy that has walked upon this land with peace. Our names contain clues as to why we're here. They're the energetic essence of who we have decided to become during our walks on this earth. And part of the reason why I'm standing before you today and why I talk to people every day is that I believe that we are supposed to be returning to the essence of love while our feet walk upon this earth. And the more people that connect with their hearts and realize that we are all absolutely the essence of love, which is contained within light, and within light is truth and peace and joy. And when more people connect with their hearts, we will have peace that flows in across the land. So my name that I have chosen in this lifetime is exactly giving me the clues as to what I need to do as part of my purpose here. So everyone's name has special significance. I have all this stuff kind of written down in little bullet point notes because I want to make sure I stay on track and honor what you all have wanted to hear today. When part of the connecting with people's hearts is being able to know what they want as part of their message. So contained within the words that I'm saying today, every one of you, as you've decided to come here today, whether it was just a few hours ago or whether it was last month, you were like, I go to every service, there's something contained within this message that you've connected with your heart with mine and asked me to deliver as well today. So when people say to me, why do I do what I do? I tell them, it's not that I can't do anything else. It's really because I can't do anything else. When you connect with your inner light and you found what you're doing here, you cannot get off that train. It will not allow you to. You might get off track just a little bit, but your heart will guide you right back in it. And all of you are divine friends for other people. We're all being flowed in and out of other people's lives for a reason, and that is to help others awaken, help everyone move into their hearts, and return back to our essence of love. So when people say to me, okay, so that's what you do, I also tell them, I was born to illuminate. I was born to inspire, and I was born to connect my heart with all of you here today. And I was born, bless you, to tell as many people who will listen that they were born to do the same. We all have equal importance here. No one's journey is more or less important than another, and we all contain a piece of this huge puzzle that if one of us doesn't come to the table with the puzzle, it's not finished. And part of that returning to the essence of our love here while we walk upon this earth is stepping forward and saying, I'm ready now. I'm ready to bring my promise. And every one of us has agreed to bring a promise forth to this planet, every single person. And they all look different, and they're all miraculous and wonderful. When we return to the essence of love, we realize that we want to look beyond ourselves, that we want to go, how can I make a difference in the world? What can I do when I go out into the world today? I call that conscious goodness. And conscious goodness means that we're spreading our light in the world in each individual way, however we do it, so that we can bless or touch another's soul and have them leave our presence feeling honored and deeply loved. If we are ever having anyone that is leaving our presence and they aren't feeling honored or loved, then we have some work to do. It just means that we need to get a little bit deeper into our hearts and shine our light forth a little bit brighter. I believe that part of when we connect with our heart, we realize that we can access this ancient wisdom. And it's the wisdom of the ages. It's the wisdom that has been the same since Jesus walked this earth. And Jesus walked this earth talking about honor and love and light and truth, and that we all have the light within us. We all have heaven within us. And we can choose our journeys each and every moment of the day, whether we want to have a positive experience that day or a negative experience. And it happens so easy as this. You get out of bed and you're in a great mood, but then you trip over the dog and you stub your toe and you start getting angry, and so you dim your light just a little bit. And then you head to the office, but on the way to work, you accidentally spill coffee on your shirt. And then someone goes, wow, that looks really great. You got a big coffee stain on your shirt. Dim your light a little bit more. And then you go into the boardroom, and someone says, this project that you did is not what I was expecting at all. You didn't listen. Dim your light a little bit more. Or you can take each of those experiences as a synchronicity. And a synchronicity, I call them, there are no coincidences. These are synchronicities placed before us by the universe to expand our heart and inspire the mind. And it's so that when we have an experience, whether it's negative or positive, we look at it and go, what am I supposed to learn from that? How can I, next time I get out of bed, not stub my toe or trip over the dog? I could turn on the light when I get out of bed, or get out of bed when it's light out, or, you know. And when you're drinking coffee in your car and you spill it, and if it's that same coffee mug that always drips on you, that's annoying, throw it out and get a new one. Or if you go into the office and the man at the boardroom, you know, your boss is being cruel, you can pull him aside after that and speak your truth from your heart. I always say to people, how your message is going to be received determines how it's delivered. If your message matches his message of negativity because he made you feel bad in the boardroom, but then you meet him in the hallway and say, you aren't really nice either. I can't believe it. You're facing the same thing that he's projecting to you. But if we face anything negative with love, we can change the world. And we can shine just enough light into the heart of someone who isn't feeling great that day either, and let them know that, hey, we all have bad days, but you know what? I'm not going to let this get me down. I am going to face this negative experience with love, and let's both change and make our delivery a little bit kinder. On March 1st, my friend Barbara and my husband and a couple other friends, we went to see the Dalai Lama. And it was no coincidence, yet another synchronicity, that we were at the Nobel Peace Prize Forum. And that day, Barbara got there a little bit earlier, and it was absolutely perfectly timed. The exact point that she was in the line, when they started to let us into the auditorium, we were able to sit exactly 10 to 15 rows up back from the Dalai Lama at his heart center. So it would be, he was sitting here, and I was just a straight shot from the Dalai Lama. I could totally feel all that beautiful, incredible heart energy that he was sending out to the world. And if you've ever been in the presence of the Dalai Lama, it is incredible. It is just, you're in your heart like that. So he was asked that day, there was a moderator there, and the moderator was taking questions from around the world. They had a Google forum open, and all the questions from around the world were coming in, and the ones that got funneled down to be asked to the Dalai Lama were because they were connecting with the hearts of humanity, and the ones that were asked were the ones that were intended that day. So the question that was asked of the Dalai Lama was, in one word, can you please explain the world today? And he said, complicated. And people laughed, and they were a little bit uncomfortable, but it's true. Our world has gotten complicated, and it's because we've traveled away from our hearts. And the more that we can get back into our heart and stay there and be anchored there, we find that inner peace, and we find our inner light, and we find joy, and we find that we want to do other things in the world and be compassionate. He was also asked that day, what can we do out in the world, in our communities, that make a difference? And he said, we must have unshakable determination for compassion. And the reason he's saying that is sometimes we all aren't nice, you know? Sometimes we've done things to hurt other people. But what's the one thing that gets us back into our heart? It's not fear, and it's not judgment, it's love. When someone can show us love when we've been maybe cruel or done something that's really harmful or hurtful to someone, and someone can go, I forgive you. I know that's not the truth of who you are. Today's just a bad day for you. I believe in you. When someone can be that pillar, that redwood tree, that beacon of light, when we are most dimming our own light, we become illuminated. So I believe absolutely what the Dalai Lama talks about, because that's all the stuff I talk about too. I go with my... Oops. Hello. Am I all right? I'm all right. I go with my husband on business trips because we love to travel together, and we were recently in New Orleans, and when he went to a trade show, I walked through the city. And what I love to do is I love to spread my light around in the city, and I go and I talk to people that other people don't want to talk to. So as I walked around that day, I met a man named Richard who's been living on the street for over 30 years. And as I stood talking with him that day, he said to me this. He said, Molly, people walk by me like I don't even exist. People try and take my picture without my permission. He said, I'm somebody too, you know. I'm here. And that really struck me because he's a person too. And he's someone's brother, and he's someone's sister, friend, uncle, cousin. We're all God's children, and we all matter. And someone could look at a man named Richard on the street who doesn't smell all that great and has no teeth. But when I stood and talked to him that day, I got to tell you, his heart smelled like roses. Because when you are accessing the wisdom of your heart, you remove that exterior shell that we've all put on here and as this thing like, this is who I am. And you really can see into the light of someone's heart. And he is such a beautiful soul. It was amazing. So the things I learned from him that day are, smile at anybody. It matters. Honor is key. We all have wanted to be honored since the moment of our births. So when we can honor another person, and it doesn't mean you have to give somebody on the street money, it means you just walk by and smile. That just says, I see you. So I want to talk about the simple smile and why it contains so much love. Because the smile always originates in the heart. It doesn't originate in the head. What happens is you're connecting with your heart and you're sending a beacon out from your heart to whoever you're smiling at. I'm going to smile at all of you. And you're saying, for a moment, I'm sending you love, but I'm going to let you know it because I'm smiling at you. Now, how do we know that someone hasn't dimmed their light and almost shut it off completely so that they want to go and head off the nearest bridge, or they want to go to a school with negative intentions so that they can get some kind of attention? How do we know that some soul who's dimmed their light hasn't said, give me one sign today. Give me one sign from somebody that I am somebody and that I matter and make a difference here. And I won't go through with it. I won't go off that bridge. I won't go into that school. You won't hear about me on the news. How do we know they didn't say to their higher power or their angels or God, whoever they believe in, you give me one sign and I won't go through with this. One sign today and I will stop what I'm going to do. And then they head out the door. And how do we know that you or me walking by on the street, when we're connected with the light of our heart, and we walk by someone and all of a sudden we get our heart that says, that's the one. Smile now. And you smile. And you connect with that person with just a simple smile. And that's the only thing they needed to change their direction just a little bit. And they didn't head to the bridge, they headed to a bench to sit and think about it. Or they headed back home and they were like, oh my God, how did this happen? I actually asked for something, and somehow, how is that possible that someone answered this prayer for me? How is that possible? And it helps them think about the bigger picture, that we all are connected here. We all are beings of love and light, and we all are moving in and out, weaving in and out of everybody's life, flowing around, being placed in front of other people and flowed out of other lives, and lessons being taught. And we're all here on this sacred journey. So, of course, another synchronicity is I have this show called the Light of Humanity Show. It's one of my radio programs that I do each week. And I find people out in the world that are doing incredible things. You will only find positivity on this show. And so I only speak to people that are blessing souls in incredible ways. And I found a man named Darnell Barton. It was not a coincidence. I saw his video, got chills, knew that I was supposed to contact him. His video went viral. He's a New York City bus driver who was driving across an expressway, and a woman was standing on the other side of the guardrail getting ready to jump. People were walking by her within feet. She's here. People are walking by, they're driving by, they're riding bicycles by, cars are zooming by. No one sees her. Because if you're in your heart, you see it. But everyone was busy. And I asked Darnell in that interview, what made you see that when no one else did? And he said, Molly, I gotta admit, I have to be honest, which is a gift of transparency and truth, which is a gift of the heart. I almost didn't stop that day. Seriously, I was going to keep going because I had to get downtown. I'm a bus driver, and bus drivers have to be on time. I almost didn't stop, but something happened. Connection with his heart. He connected with his heart, and then it was like nothing else mattered, Molly. The only thing that mattered was getting her on the other side of that railing. That's it. And so as he stopped his bus, and this is all caught on video, you can look him up on YouTube, and it's an amazing, amazing video. This 400-pound man gets off the bus, because the camera is right behind him, and he goes up to the railing where the woman is, and he grabbed her arm, because he didn't want her to jump at the last minute. But then what he did was, he took that other arm, which is the arm of the biggest, most sacred bear in the world, and wrapped it around her with such love and compassion. And he took it one step further. He said to her, on the video, you can hear him say, do you want to come over on the other side of the railing? He did not demand or pull her. He gave her the honorable decision, because this was her journey. And he wanted to make sure that she wanted to come on the other side of the railing. So he brought her over, and they sat there and prayed. And then the angels sent in another angel, and a woman comes up who happens to be a counselor that was just flowed in front of that man and that woman on that exact day. Miracle, goodness, love. Lives are changed. So before I got off the air with Darnell, I said, is there anything else that you want to share with me about what happened? And he said, that woman saved my life that day. And I was like, oh, wow. And he said, I have so many things that were rolling around in my heart that I hadn't gotten out in the world. And because of this act, there's so many things that have been happening to me. It's just a miracle. I want to tell you about my friend Jill Stevenson, who's here today. This is another synchronicity and another miracle, and I call all these mini miracles. Jill was at a church group, and she wanted to be connected with other women, get connected with people. And the lady said, why don't you connect with the Metamorphosis Center? It's in Burnsville. It's a wonderful location. Go there. Check it out. She went to their website. Her angels hyper-focused her on my name. She clicked on my name, went to my website. I happened to be sitting there typing on my computer, working like I usually do, and I get this email that comes through as I happen to be working at that second. And I open it up, and the email says, I am Ben Kopp's mother at Gmail. And I just started crying. And when you get chills or you start crying, you've immediately connected with your heart. And my heart was saying, call her, get in touch with her. Did you hear that? That's my voice. So I got her on the phone and we talked like old friends. We've only known each other for 3.5 weeks, but we're going to be doing a workshop next month at the Metamorphosis Center. That's how fast it happens when you connect with your heart. So as I talked to Jill on the phone, I said, I need to interview you about your story, and her interview is coming up, I believe, next week. You can find about all the interviews on the violetwisdom.com website. But what her story is all about is her son died in Afghanistan, was shot in 2009. And he saved 6 soldiers before being shot in the leg. Now, that wasn't the fatal injury, was the shot in the leg, but he went in for surgery and he never woke up. But it's yet another synchronicity, part of the divine plan, that he was not shot anywhere else, because you see, Jill's brother, back in the 80s, was an organ donor. He died during a car accident and donated his organs. And Jill has honored his legacy by being able to move beyond the pain. And what she did was she taught her son about organ donation and how it's important to bless other lives with goodness. And so her son, when he went into the Army, filled out that form that said, do you want to be an organ donor? Yes. And then he additionally said, anything that is needed. He gave the gift of life for over 60 plus people, because not only was he an organ donor, he was also a tissue donor. And tissue donors mean that if someone needs skin grafting after a burn victim, or cancer patients, or you have a motorcycle accident and your skin is gone. 60 plus people. His light lives on in all of these people because Jill honored his legacy and said, not my son, I know he filled all this out, but I'm not going to have him be an organ donor. She followed his wishes and is blessing all these people. And it's a synchronicity, of course, that he was shot in the leg, and what happened was he was then airlifted to Walter Reed Medical Center and never regained consciousness. And so she asked him before they disconnected him, when they found out he was brain dead, and said, do you want to give your gifts away? You can do that. I give you permission. And that's what he did. And her story is totally inspirational, and she's going to be talking to people about it and helping people move beyond the pain. Because when we can see the bigger picture, that we are all here for a reason, and that reason is to return to our essence of love. I'll tell you another really quick story of someone I just interviewed. His name is Greg Farian, and he is part of the, he's a St. Paulite, lives here in St. Paul, and he's one of the men who went to Barrow, Alaska back in the 80s when the whales were trapped in the ice. Do you guys remember that story? Anybody remember that? He was watching the news one night, and he was like, oh my God, I gotta go there. I have a de-icer machine. I have an answer that will help with this. I gotta go there. And he kept getting shut down. But perseverance said, and his heart said, go there. And he did. He flew all the way up to Alaska. And if it wasn't for him, those whales, one passed away, one died, but 2 of them were released. They made it through all the way to open water once they got all that ice cleared. But if it wasn't for him getting there that night, that wouldn't have been a story that would have been made into that movie, Big Miracle, because it reached 40 to 50 below that night and the ice would have completely frozen over. So when we follow our heart, we give a gift to humanity. It's amazing. We totally bless so many people. And he said to me, Molly, for a moment in time, the world came together. Because the army came together. The Russians helped with the Russian icebreaker. The oil companies were up there helping too. And even the Eskimos, the Inuit, I can never say that right, they helped too. It was a grouping of souls from around the world that were helping save these incredible whales. So we do absolutely make a difference. I know there's one other thing that I want to make sure I say that someone's heart wanted to hear today. Okay. So I went to Amsterdam last year, and before I went to Amsterdam, I am an empath, and so when I am in front of people that may be smiling and laughing, but inside they're crying, I can feel it. And I just send them light and love. But when there's an enormous grouping of people that are doing that same thing, I have to really stay anchored into my heart so that I don't go to their level of sadness. We give the gift when we can stay in our joy instead of lowering ourselves to someone's sadness. So I wanted to make sure that I stayed anchored in my heart while I was spreading light throughout that city. We were in Amsterdam because we were ultimately going to Spain, and Amsterdam is one of the main places that's an international hub. Amsterdam is a place that is so full of history and great food. In the Anne Frank house, which I am so connected to Anne Frank, there was nothing that was going to keep me away from the Anne Frank house. But it's also the location of the red light district. And it's a place where people go because they think that it's a fun place to visit, where other people are allowing souls to dim their light for possibly taking their clothes off for money or doing things that are devaluing souls. So I wanted to make sure that I spread light throughout that city because we all are someone's son or daughter or brother or sister, and everyone has purpose and meaning and value here. So I brought my Post-it notes and a marker and some double stick tape, and I create projects that I hope anyone will want to emulate. And I call it Love Notes Around the World. So it started at the Anne Frank house. I went in to the Anne Frank house, and as I came out, I posted my first note, and it said, "Never ever give up hope." And I wrote it, and I posted on the actual door of the Anne Frank house. The main door is a different door than the door that was Anne Frank's residence. And as I went around the corner, I posted another note on a park bench that said, "Smile at a stranger and make a new friend." And then another one that said, "You matter," on a window. And another one that said, "You are loved," on a door with cobwebs. I wanted people to know that as they traveled through the city, whoever was supposed to see that note was going to see it. And if I could save a life by just posting a simple note, I'm going to do it. So I took pictures of all of that. I have videos on YouTube and on my website so you can see those. But I encourage you all to find your ways to spread love in the world. Are we getting close? Because I could talk until 5 o'clock tonight, so. Okay, so I just want you guys all to know that I have absolute faith in humanity. And I believe, I love you in the back row there, I love you. And I believe that one person can change the world, because the truth is, you guys, it has always begun this way. Anne Frank changed the world. A little teenage girl is changing the world even today with her light. She's changing the world with her words. John Lennon changed the world with his words of peace. Audrey Hepburn changed the world with grace. Princess Diana changed the world with her unshakable determination for compassion. Steve Jobs changed the world with innovation. Martin Luther King changed the world with truth. We all are here to change the world, each and every one of us, and I can't wait to see what you guys all are bringing forth, because all of you here today have connected your heart with mine and you wanted to hear my message. So there's something in it that's going to help you change the world. When I end, I like to give people tools on how they can do this, because I don't want to just inspire people. I want you to take this love that's in your heart and ground it into the earth, so that when it comes back up, you're creating these roots and these things that people can go, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that. And you build this foundation of love for generations to come. So here are the things that you can do. Focus on what you yourself are doing right, not what the world is doing wrong. We are all on our personal journey, and the more that each one of us focuses on our own journey and begins to inspire and change the world, then the world changes. Because other people go, what is she doing? That's different. She's not complaining or blaming, and she's changing the world. So focus on yourself. And whenever we are in doubt on how to act, we can always err on the side of kindness. For that is how we have wanted to be treated in return. Every single one of us. I don't think I could have anyone honestly say, yeah, I wanted to be treated cruel. So if we can give that gift to someone else, that is an absolute gift of the heart. That no matter what someone's doing to us, we face anything negative with love. And begin your walk of love and truth. When we really decide that we want to be anchored into our heart and we want to see everything, you will see everything. And it's amazing, the stuff that you see. When you can see what I see, when you can see actually into someone's heart and know where they are, I don't even know how to explain it. It's the biggest gift in the world, and we all have that ability to have that gift. Connect with the hearts of humanity each day. Honor the light within yourself and all souls, and that means do not let anyone dishonor you. Do not let anyone treat you anything less than love. We are all these people of nobility here, and we deserve to treat others honorably and have other people treat us honorably as well. And then we can stop talking about how things must be done and just do it. Just do it. Go out there. Start whatever you're going to do, because it's going to be perfect, and just do it. And then the last thing is, the goal is to have everyone leave your presence feeling honored and deeply loved. And if for any reason that isn't happening, then we have some work to do. Then we just have some tweaking to do. And if it does happen, the next time you go, I'm going to get better. The next time that person sees me, I'm going to show them even more love. So you can connect with me on my website, which is called violetwisdom.com. Everything I do is under Violet Wisdom. And the reason why is that the word energetic essence of the word violet, in that word contains truth, nobility, love, light, forgiveness. All of that is within that word. So everything I do is absolutely under that. And I just would love to connect with all of you. I have workshops that I do around the cities. I have online angel classes that I teach, and in-person classes. I have all these different ways that people can connect with their hearts. And I just want you to know that if you do connect with me, you will only get positivity. So thank you so much for your time today. I totally appreciate it. Okay, I want to just take a few more moments and show you all how we can send our light around the world. There's so many different ways to send light, and I teach about that in some of my classes. And one of the things that I call this one is being the Statue of Liberty. So if you just follow along with what I'm saying, you can close your eyes for a moment and you just imagine yourself that you are walking into the Statue of Liberty and take the stairs or the elevator up to where her heart would be located, kind of like what we did before. And send your light again now down into the ground, so it would go down below the foundation into the earth, connect your energy with the energy of the earth, and send it back up, and now send that energy in a rush out her torch. And you send it all the way up to the heavens in seconds, and when it reaches the heavens, you hear all the angels go, "Ah!" And then you ask your higher power, your angels, all your loved ones who have transitioned to the light to help you send the showers of love down across the earth. And you can send, if we are in an area where we're experiencing war in another part of the world, you can send extra healing light, which I always visualize as like green sparkling light. You can send down pink love light. You can send down the purity of truth and white light. And I'm being asked right now to say that if we can all connect hearts here and send absolute love and truth light to the situation that's going on with the airplane in Malaysia and ask for the truth of all of that to be revealed. We deserve to be delivered the truth on that, and we deserve to have all the souls honored with truth regarding that story. I also want to show you guys that when you're sending light, say you go into a hospital and you want to send in light because it feels so heavy there. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of depression in hospitals. People are going through life-changing things. So send down from the heavens a pink blanket of light and just allow it to wrap that hospital in love. If you're going into a graveyard to visit someone, send a wave of light through all those souls that have their stones there representing their journeys here, and just send them all love. If you have anyone that has transitioned to the light unexpectedly, perhaps someone has committed suicide, we can always connect with anyone's light. You can say their name 3 times and then follow it with, "I love you, I love you, I love you." And just imagine that person in God's light hearing their angels say, "Open your arms. Here comes a wave of love for you. Feel it." You can send love to people here or who have transitioned, anyone. Anytime we send love, we are raising the vibration on this planet, and we're raising our own consciousness and our own vibration. So when in doubt, send light out. And you can really make a very quick intention by just snapping your fingers and saying, "Send in the light, send out the light." It is done. Thank you.